have met the requirements for being employed by our companies.
If we can just add.
Yeah.
I think if we can just add that there is a big misconception in the industry that foreign nationals are underpaid. As Avon clarified, foreign nationals get exactly the same wage as mandated by bargaining council. But I think the greater part of it is we also need to differentiate. We can't say foreign nationals. We need to say illegal and legal. So we have legal foreign nationals that are getting the same pay. Illegal, we are totally against any illegal foreigners in our country, and as such we've actually suggested better policing of our borders, as well as in order from a compliance perspective, we engage that regular checks, etc., that needs to happen in the industry. But we definitely everybody needs to understand that foreigners, legal foreigners with work permits, there is nothing wrong with the industry using foreigners that have work permits. So we have addressed these issues, and hopefully better communication with government will assist in resolving issues going forward. Thank you.
Sorry, I just want to add a few things, please. Firstly, as industry, we will acknowledge that it's time that we do change our regime, that we spend time and money educating our people. So we are undertaking to do that. We will spend time teaching our drivers the rare skills in terms of hazardous cargo movement. In some sectors, the reality is that there is no skills to move those hazardous cargoes. We have looked, we have searched. So not all of us employ foreign drivers. If it held water that the companies that are being attacked only employ foreign drivers, that is untrue. Some of us don't employ foreign drivers at all, yet they're still attacked. So it's not about whether you employ foreign drivers or not. It's the conception or the perception that all of us employ foreign drivers, so all of us deserve to be attacked. The second thing that you ought to be asking yourself is, so what are we going to do to change things? Are we going to put money? Are we going to pledge our resources? Are we going to put our infrastructure into a proper training school? And we've discussed this at great length, and we've agreed we have to start doing that. Because you're right, the problem arose in 2016, and now it's 2019, and we haven't really moved anywhere. So we have to start addressing it. I don't know who was in charge then, but I can tell you there's a new team on the block, and we're not just all about talk, we're about action. We will get this right. All we're asking you for is no more violence. We'll put together a proper program, we'll announce it, we'll invite participants from all sectors to come and talk to us, and we will put money into it. That's all we can do for now. That's the control we have on our side.
Thank you very much. On the issue of documentation, it's part of the compliance. As you know, we've got a lot of undocumented, what is called illegal migrants who are foreign nationals in our country. It would be illegal for any employer to employ illegal migrants in South Africa. And we continue to advise the industry, not only the trucking industry, what you call this? Hospitality industry, the farming industry, the domestic sector industry, they tend to be more prone to have these illegal employed in those sectors. That's why we're engaging our industry to try, because if you are coming to South Africa illegally, it's crime. We are in breach of our legislation. So we deal with that through inspections. What has happened since April last year, inspections are carried jointly with the labor and police. And we do arrest, we do deport some of them, those we find who don't have proper documentations. We spend quite a lot of money on deportations. That's why we're starting now. The president has asked us to actually work with our neighbors, because the bulk of them come from our neighboring countries. We are working with the ministers from Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Lesotho. You remember also that because of the large number of illegal migrants into our country, we had to create special dispensations so that we can record them. We created an amnesty so that they can be legalized. We've done that with Zimbabwe, we've done that with Vasutus, and it did work. But we still believe some of them didn't come up. And we are not going to continue to open up those things. There is also a misconception that some of those people, because they were allowed to be in South Africa, through those dispensations, they are allowed to work, to school, or open businesses. But that doesn't allow you to say you'll be employed irrespective of our national laws. Our primary focus that before you employ a foreign national, you must make sure that it is a rare skill or a scarce skill. So that's what we've been engaging, whether is truck driving a scarce skill. That's why we came with the issue that we'll have to verify that. We have to bring figures. We'll work from the Home Affairs and the Labour to check how many truck drivers to transport we have with those skills. And the issue of experience was raised, but it's not a major requirement in terms of the legislation. So the issue of verification, then we've agreed with the industry that we'll do those verifications. They'll bring their stats, we'll bring our stats, and make sure that if they are really rare skills, they are really rare. Scarce skills, you don't just declare it yourself. That I'm a scarce skill. It's not the employer also declare that. If employer feels that it doesn't have certain people with this type of skills, it then goes to Department of Labor. It applies, and then Labor will process it, and then once it's processed by Labor, they bring it to us, Home Affairs, and then we issue a work permit. So it'd be a scarce skill, not a general work permit. There's no general work permit. It'd be for that particular skill. So those are the things we've agreed that we have to navigate together. If we successfully navigate together with employees, the organized labor will help us also to identify the workers with these skills. So if we all navigate this thing together, we would be able in long term, so this thing doesn't keep on recurring. The immediate thing is that we must stop the violence. It's Kalipans. And then we'll then deal immediately with the root causes. The issue of coming to South Africa, yes, the border control is important. We are coordinating at the border. The defense is responsible for the borderline. Police are working at the law in terms of law enforcement at the border post, working with other agencies there. But it's not going to be sufficient. We need to deal with pull factors in South Africa, which pull these economic migrants to come here, and the push factors, things which push them in their countries to leave and come here. Those are the things in the long term which will help us to stabilize the situation and deal with the problem effectively. Thank you very much.
No, it's one point I want to emphasize. I heard you to say there are no drivers. No, there are drivers in the country. That's the point that led us to say, let's go. I did make a statement to say there are areas for verification. That's one area, because the question was raised. How many foreign drivers? Nobody knows. How many South African drivers? Nobody knows. If they are there. So we said, let's go for verification, and then we talk about the figures that we know. And if there are skill shortage, all can be responsible to improve on that. But I don't think it would be correct to sit here and we say that there is shortage of drivers when we have not verified, when we did not answer that question in the meeting. So I think we'll have to respect the agreement that we reached in the meeting going forward, so that we come with a verified information when we finally speak about that. As Dr. Cele is saying, there will be still laws that guide those things. If there are shortage of skills, have you applied to get that? The Minister of Labour said not a single application that has come through that, not once. So that's a thing that you really, let's respect what we have discussed up to this point. Come with it. This level, I think we need to come with it verified, the rigid point as they are, rather than come and guess in front of the nation. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Are there any other questions?
No, thank you very much. I think there is one aspect which needed some response. The question was what transpired since April up to this far. We need to give a clearer report that since the drivers raised their concern that the foreign nationals who are employed by companies, they did not end there. They gave us the list of companies which they allege that they are employing foreigners. That list entailed about 47 companies. Department of Labour and Department of Home Affairs, the police, RTI, they conducted inspections to those companies. So, which was a commitment that the government made. We can say that from the exercise that they conducted, there were companies which were found that they did not follow the law. Some of them, they received some fines, and that process is still ongoing. It's not a process which we can give an account on the numbers right now, but it's an ongoing process which we believe it will be able to put us to a clearer picture as to how far is this scourge that is engulfing the province or the nation. So therefore we are committed as government that these departments will also work together with all companies as well as the employees to ensure that the visits are conducted and we root out the scourge of lawlessness as well as the those who are not adhering to the laws of the country that are supposed to be followed. Thank you very much.
So that's quite true that they are not complying.
Thank you very much. Is there any more questions?
So they are not complying, these companies. They are not complying.
Your question?
So what I would say that, okay, it's quite true what who can they say that, okay, there's no compliance. Some. I'm sure remember so there was, how do you hear that, okay, they were defending themselves anyway. At the beginning, these companies are defending themselves. They're complaining. Now we hear the truth that, okay, non-compliance is there in these companies.
Non-compliance is in every industry.
Sorry?
I say non-compliance is in every industry. It's in government. It's in all. It's in all sectors. We all have to work together to root out.
But here we're talking about your companies.
No, I think we don't have to really come and fight. Kaunda has put it very well. The lady says her company is complying. And Kaunda said there were 47 of identified companies. We have checked those companies. The fact is that some comply, some don't. And then what do we do with those that? I think the question needs to be left on that.
Sorry, just to clarify, but what we'd like to also emphasize is that those vehicles that were involved in the actual burning, those were companies that employed purely South African only, and those were South African drivers that were assaulted. Those were not companies that were employing foreigners. So this is what we're trying to get across.
Absolutely. I don't want to I think we had a good meeting. That is subject to verification. Yeah, because that's not the report that the police have. That's not the report what police have. So let's agree that we'll subject that to verification. Okay.
No. Okay. Thank you very much for everything.